And joining us now here on Locked On Buckeyes, it is your boy Q. He is the host of Locked On Raiders. Q, welcome back to the podcast.
Hey man, thanks for having me on. It's always fun to join you and talk a little football with you. Raider football, Buckeye football, it's all good.
Yes, it is. We gotta love football season. It's the off season for some, but for us around here, we all know the grind never stops. Q, Thayer Munford, newly drafted pick by the Raiders,
Yep.
but it was late in the draft, 7th round, 238th overall. I got a text. I'm going to tell a little story for you. I got a text on Saturday. I was actually at a funeral, and this person knew I was at a funeral. They were asking, has Thayer Munford got drafted yet? Now, I think we're about the 5th or 6th round on Saturday.
Yeah.
And I said, no, not yet. And they were shocked that Thayer Munford was still on the board. What was your thought when you saw Thayer Munford get snagged by the Raiders in the 7th round?
Well, it was funny because he had kind of slipped my mind because, the Raiders were already past the 4th, 5th round where most people projected him to go. So I wasn't really even thinking about him at the point. He kind of, it's like I said, slipped my mind and was off the radar. And then when all of a sudden he was announced in the 7th round, I was like, damn, he's still on the board. Like I thought I missed, I missed him being selected by another team. So I was like, wow, he's still on the board. Okay, that's interesting, and then I started to do a little bit of research and I thought, okay, well, he's a tackle. They announced him as a tackle, but I know he kicked inside the guard and he played that. And so I just started thinking about what this new regime with the Raiders are trying to do this year. And everybody that they're bringing in, they really have multiple roles that they want to play. It's something that GM Dave Ziegler's talked a lot about, is that the more versatility that you have, the more different positions you could play, the better shot you have of earning a spot on this team and being more valuable. And so value and versatility are two words that this new regime has talked about quite a bit. And I mean, all you got to do is look at New England and see all the versatile guys that they had there. And so they're bringing that style to Las Vegas. And so I just thought, okay, they got him in the 7th. I don't know how they hit him like that, but what an opportunity. Maybe they could find a diamond in the rough. Last year, it wasn't this regime, but the Raiders found a diamond in the rough, in my opinion. Jimmy Morrissey, he was a center out of Pitt, and they found him in the 7th round, and I thought, man, this guy's actually going to make the team, and then the Texans stole him off the practice squad, and so now he's their center in Houston. So I'm thinking, man, could they strike gold twice and get another player that's versatile like that in the 7th round and at the very end of the day have some depth? You always need depth at the offensive line. So I think that they got themselves something to work with. Obviously it's up to Munford to go out there and earn his spot, but I think that they really found a little diamond in the rough in the 7th round when Munford was still available.
Possibility of a diamond in the rough is amazing. I'm going to do a little twisting here. If he's so versatile and he's something that the Raiders are looking to put on their roster, not just with Munford, but other players there, why didn't they get him earlier?
Exactly. That's a big question. But the one thing that I know about this new regime is that they're very hell-bent on sticking to their board, and the value of the pick is what they're looking for. So clearly Munford has some room to grow, or else he wouldn't have been a 7th round pick. He would have been a 3rd or 4th round pick. You know what I mean? So he's got a lot of things that he's got to do, as you know. But I just think that the clay is there. You know what I mean? They have the clay where they can mold something if possible. If he's moldable, if he's coachable, if he's a guy that's willing to learn, I think that there's something there. But I think they also looked at it and said, okay, the value's not there to get him in the 4th round, but if he's still around in the 7th, we'll go and make that move. The thing about the Raiders draft class was pretty funny. They got 2 offensive linemen, 2 defensive linemen, and 2 running backs. That was their 6 picks that they had in the draft. They were all in 2s. I kept calling it like Noah's Ark. They all came in 2s. But if you look at all those guys, they all have versatility. Every one of them, all 6 of the guys have different roles that they could play. So, again, I just think that they saw Munford as a guy that if he's around in round 7, instead of just picking a throwaway pick, they're going to pick a guy that they feel like they can get something out of. And that's not just a special teamer. I think that, Munford, obviously being on the offensive line, has some real value if he works out.
Based on the team needs right now, do you see him more playing guard or tackle for the Las Vegas Raiders?
That's a great question because they need, in my opinion, they need a right tackle. They drafted Alex Leatherwood in the 1st round last year at number 17 overall to be the right tackle. They kicked him inside the guard. I've been pounding the table the whole offseason for a veteran right tackle to play next to Alex Leatherwood, let him stick at that right guard spot. But from all sounds and indications, it sounds like they're going to give him another opportunity to play tackle. So they went and got Dylan Parham in round 3, who's an inside offensive lineman. He could play center, he could play guard. So, okay, that they're working on the interior. If they bring Alex Leatherwood and kick him back outside to tackle, okay, is he there? Is a guy like Munford a guy that can compete with them? They have Denzel Good coming back from an ACL. So I mean, they have a lot of different pieces. I just don't know exactly where they all fit in. I mean, even last season they gave their starting center a nice contract extension, but now they have Dylan Parham, who's a guy who might be able to play that center position. So it's like, where are they mixing and matching? Who's going to be there? I can tell you this for sure. The left tackle position is Colton Miller. I don't know anything else. The rest of the offensive line, I feel like, is up for grabs. And I think that's a good thing, right? I mean, everyone's got to go out there and earn their spot. So there's literally like 4 spots on the offensive line that these guys are all going to compete for. And I think that Munford's going to be in the competition. Not saying he's going to start, but I can see him being, backup 1 at either a tackle spot or a right guard spot or, whatever spot. I can see him being a backup for now, at least.
How is the culture? I know it's a few questions, but I want people to really understand more about what you do cover with the Raiders. What's the culture like when you have rookies coming in? Now, I say that because y'all just had a Buckeye on the team that just got cut.
Right.
It's not on you, but what is the culture like out there? Is it one where Sin City, Vegas, where that is the thing and that kind of wraps in takes control or takes over the rookies and they can't get outside of that? Or is the culture, the facility, the front office, is everybody more of a family feel and they just happen to be in Vegas?
Yeah, I mean, the thing about it is it takes a special person to be in Vegas. And, full disclosure, I'm 45. If I was 22 and I had a whole bunch of money, I don't know how I would do it. You know what I mean? Because there's so many opportunities. But it takes someone that's a pretty strong-minded person to realize that, hey, man, this is a profession. You're here to work. Yes, you can have all the glitz and glamour of Vegas, but the community itself is fantastic. It's a great area. Las Vegas is way more than just a strip. But a lot of people don't know that. I mean? Like, the communities are fantastic. The housing is great. I mean, it's just so many opportunities here in Las Vegas. But if you get caught up in all the, downtown, the strip action, hanging out till 3, 4, 5 in the morning, I mean, trouble's bound to find you. I don't care where you are after midnight, where they say nothing good, positive happens after midnight. It's true. And it really is true here in Las Vegas. So I think that what the Raiders have tried to do is really establish a culture where, hey, yes, we're here, but guys, we are outstanding citizens here in this community. I mean, think about this. Darren Waller is a recovering addict, and he lives here in Las Vegas, and he's killing it. You know what I mean? Like, he's been outstanding. Max Crosby, he's now 2 years sober. He's here in Las Vegas, just got a contract extension. He is, a great citizen in this community. There's more great people in this community than there are knuckleheads. There's a couple of knuckleheads like former Raider Damon Arnett, who just couldn't handle. I don't think he could handle life. I think the people in his corner aren't telling them the right things. They're just kind of like, yes, yeah, go ahead, because they were maybe guys that were getting paid off of him, making their money off of him. So they just kind of gave him the green light. There's not guys who are knuckleheads, and then there's guys that have their mind on straight. And I think if you come to Las Vegas with a positive head and you know what you're here to do, and you like establish your family or whatever you want to do, outside of football, you'll be just fine. There's plenty of examples of great people here. There's also the couple guys that stand out that are knuckleheads. And like I said, Damon Arnett just happened to be one. I liked him. I thought he was going to have a potential to be a player, but he just couldn't figure it out. It's unfortunate.
Q, last thing for you here was 2. I'm going to double it up because that's not bad. That's not good for the show, but I'm going to break some rules right now. 1, do you think that Thayer Munford is going to make the 53-man roster? And then number 2, do you think he's on the Raiders his entire rookie season?
Those are great questions. I think that he has an opportunity to. I really do. I just think that with this new regime in here, they're gonna obviously they have no allegiance to anyone that was here before them. So they just recently declined the 5th-year options on all the 2019 first-round picks, and the Raiders had 3 of them. So they're obviously not hell-bent on keeping the guys that were here before them. I do think that they saw something in Munford. They saw him there in the 7th round and said, okay, you know what? We can work with this guy. We believe in our offensive line coach is going to come in here and put in some work. So, yeah, I do think he might not make the 53-man roster. I could definitely see him making the practice squad, though. You know what I mean? And then earning his keep. And if he gets coached up and he's on the practice squad, he could end up like Jimmy Morrissey did a year ago, where the Houston Texans came and snatched him, and now he's their starting center. So I could totally see him, getting snatched up off the practice squad if he earns his keep. But I think that he has a good inside shot of at least making the team in some capacity.
Q, this has been fun. Not enough time. I have to have you back on down the road. We do a Buckeye road trip around the NFL. Gonna do it again this offseason. Gonna
Okay.
have Q to come back on to talk about Jonathan Hankins and maybe some other Buckeyes that are there in Vegas doing their thing in the National Football League. Q, thanks for coming back on, man. I really appreciate it.
Hey, man, anytime you call, you know I got you, man. It's always fun. I appreciate you.